All right, like I just said, one of these days the High Button studio will be an actual studio. It will not be in the basement of a house. So we do not hear dogs barking. We do not hear siblings coming over. We do not hear family reunions upstairs. It'll be a nice, calm studio. So with that, I appreciate you, Kevin, coming into a hostile environment and dropping a little bit of knowledge.
I'm happy to be here. I welcome the craziness of your household.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. People probably don't welcome it as much as they'd like to. Well, I guess just me. I guess when other people come on the podcast, they're more nervous.
Well, they also don't really know your family. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Do you think people are nervous coming over to a house to do a podcast?
Definitely. You're always nervous when you meet somebody's parents.
I've never put those together.
Yeah.
Because when people come over, they could be like, "Oh, I might have to meet his parents. I might have to meet someone that I just don't want to meet."
Well, honestly, if you're like, come over for this podcast, I've got a studio in my basement.
Yeah.
They could be walking into anything.
Yeah.
You know, imagine what they think if they don't know you.
Yeah.
They think your parents are crazy.
Yeah, podcasts are becoming more and more common.
That's true.
I wonder how many times in my life I've said, "Hey man, do you want to come over and do a podcast?" At least over 200.
Yeah.
Because this is episode 160, and I know I've been denied at least 40 times. Is that math correct? Yeah, like I've been denied a bunch. So
what's crazy is that people probably don't even bat an eye or think about it. They're like, "Oh, podcast, yeah, sure. I'll come over to your basement."
Yeah.
Like those who want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like, "Well, what do you mean you have a podcast?"
Yeah. The first reaction is, I think people love to talk about themselves. I'm one of them. Love to talk about myself. So when people have the opportunity to come on and like talk about what they're doing, that's why I'd say most people say yes.
Yeah.
Not that you're coming over to talk about yourself. You have an expertise that I admire.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we're friends and you're stuck talking to me anyways. So
I said in the intro, you'll hear before this, that I was like, all right, this guy might make fun of me, but don't listen to him. Any stories that he tells about me are not truths, but listen to his baseball statistics. Yeah. So talking to the mic a little bit. We can do a little test here. So yeah, you're fine there. You're in the yellow. Just make sure to talk like
I don't know what the yellow means.
Do say go test.
Test.
That's great. That's
great.
Another thing. One of these days, the High Button, we're going to get quality microphones. Actually, I should plug that right now. If you're listening to the High Button podcast and you're a millionaire or a thousandaire.
Or you got a microphone guy.
Yeah, but microphone guys don't want to give up their microphone. These are great well, they're not the best.
Maybe you know someone who wholesales them.
Yeah, that's true. But I'd like to have my own.
Your own.
Like microphones. Like
who owns these?
They're mine.
Yeah.
But like, I just want to I don't want to ask for money. But if you have $3,000 laying around, let me know.
Anonymous donor. Looking at you.
All right, so what I was saying before, there are a lot of people in this world that think they know sports, and they talk a lot about sports, and for me, I think it goes in one ear, out the other. We've known each other for a long period of time, and when it comes to baseball conversation, I trust your opinion. I really don't know much about the game. I know I love the game, but when it comes to I don't even know if X's and O's is a correct term in baseball. Are there X's and O's in baseball? Like there's X's and O's in football.
Yeah, I would think no. I've never seen an X or an O, but you could probably do whatever you want. There's the erasable boards for every sport, so you could use X's and O's if you really want to.
Over a bit, yeah, you got it. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, how was the baseball season this year? Was it a good season? Was it a bad season? The Jays were terrible, but how was the season nonetheless?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, like I was telling you, I'm a baseball fan first, so I enjoy watching baseball, regardless of whether the Jays are good. I don't know that I'm qualified to talk about baseball, but to be honest, I'm not qualified to talk about much.
None of us are.
Yeah. What does Malcolm Gladwell say?
You think the guy running the country of America is qualified?
No, that's right. Well, they say, 10,000 hours to achieve excellence. I've definitely watched 10,000 hours of baseball.
Have you?
Easy.
But wouldn't you have had
10,000 hours?
Wouldn't you have had to play? So have you played 10,000 hours?
Well, I'm not here playing baseball though. That's the difference.
So if you talk about that's true. Oh, that's a good point. If you watch baseball for 10,000 hours, you definitely know something about it.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
I wish we lived in a city where we had a professional baseball team, man. When I was in, you
were gonna say when you were in Vancouver with I was gonna say it doesn't have to be like a professional, like it doesn't have to be a major league team. It could be a minor league team.
Yeah,
that's every bit as fun.
Yeah. It's just the price. Even if the Toronto Blue Jays were here, even when like they sucked this year, tickets couldn't have been that expensive up in the rafters. like no more over $15.
When, sorry?
Like the Blue Jays this year, like so they weren't that good.
Yeah. No, like I know you can go to the standing deck in the outfield for like, I don't know, $10, something like that.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no, you can definitely. You could be pretty broke and go to a game every day if you don't care about where you are.
Yeah, but like I said, it doesn't even have to be. It's just a leisure thing. It's such a.
Yeah.
Where did you went somewhere?
Recently?
No. Detroit, and you went to a game by yourself. You said.
Yeah, I went to a series. I went with my dad, but my dad was working, so we went to all the evening games, but there was an afternoon game.
Yeah.
Where I'm in. What the hell am I going to do in Detroit?
Yeah.
By myself. So yeah, I went to a game by myself. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I splurged on the tickets just because I was young. It's not like I had any bills to pay.
Yeah.
So I sat third baseline, probably like 3 or 4 rows up.
Yeah, right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 rows up, third baseline.
Yeah.
And I sat with these 3 old ladies who were season ticket holders.
Love it.
It was hilarious. They knew every single player. They knew the Tigers better than I did.
Yeah.
Obviously. And it was great. I just probably had 3-4 beer. It was hot, just roasted all day.
That's the best case scenario right there, to sit with some season ticket holders, locals, been to every game, probably know every nook and cranny of the building, probably have a bunch of stories. I don't mind that. The same thing happened to me when I went to a Dodgers game whenever I was there.
Yeah.
Sat next to this old Hispanic guy. He's been there since he was like 15, he said. Just talked about how much he hated San Francisco and how much he loved the Dodgers. And
that's cool. Were you in the bleachers?
Oh, way up there.
Yeah. So, but that's where you find the stories. Like if you go third baseline, like if you get those nice seats, is when you're gonna get like the boss's kids and everyone is at season ticket holders. You go to the bleachers; those are the people who have been fans for 50 years. Yeah. Anyone can just show up and drop a couple $1,000s on tickets. But the guys who tough it out in the bleachers, those are the guys who've been coming for years.
Dodger Stadium is one of the most segregated buildings I think I've ever seen in my life. It's funny though, because all up in the top it's all Hispanic people, and then on below it's all white people. But it's funny, right behind home plate is George Lopez. It's all these white people, and then George Lopez is right there, best seat in the house.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, but it's a sick man. Just talking about it. Just walking into a baseball stadium for the first time, even the worst one in the league, I think, which is Tampa Bay, apparently. I remember just walking in there and just being like, wow.
Yeah, it's
cool. Just massive.
And they're all different. I guess like all sporting stadiums for the most part are different. But in terms of like the actual, it's the only, it's the only field of play that changes. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't know what
you're playing on the same hockey rink no matter what town you're in.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in New York or Boston, the dimensions of the field change. Like the outfield bleachers are smaller, they're bigger. Like Houston had a hill in the outfield. So Arizona's got Arizona's fountain like behind the center field wall.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, there's a water slide. I think those are the right cities. But yeah, so it's like every different stadium's almost like a different theme park. And some of them are really nice and upscale, or some are like Oakland's is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it's cool because they're all different.
Why is that though? Like there's no rule set in place?
Well, probably because baseball is so old.
That's one thing I love about the game, though, is the traditions that they keep in place.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a question of, okay, we're going to get rid of the umpires. Like,
but I mean, it's a good thing or bad. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Because think about it, it's like it took so long to adopt instant replay.
Did it?
Did it? Yeah. Because now they have the challenge rule and where you can look at a call. And there was so much pushback about that, which is going away. Like, oh yeah, protect the umpires. But come on, like if it makes the sport better, what are we really talking about? Oh, you're going to make the game too long? It's like, well, the game's already 3.5 hours. If it's 3 hours and 45 minutes, I think the diehard baseball fans are going to stick around.
Isn't that a problem that they were trying to get rid of, is speeding up the game? They're saying it's too long.
Yeah,
fans were complaining.
Yeah, and some got like some pitchers, usually like better pitchers, take a long time in between pitches. You think pitching's taxing, so like guys take their time. Those are long games. The best pitchers to watch are the guys who just speed through it.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what the MLB would like to have every team, sort of that pace of play.
Yeah.
But it's not what you get. And like I don't know how you police that. You're gonna have an up there telling, "Oh, hurry up." Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Get rid of the 7th inning stretch.
But I feel like there's a lot of people, not even our generation, like our parents' generation, that don't want to see any change. Like they don't mind the fact that it's 3 hours.
No.
You know, they don't mind that.
But know what you're signing up for. I'm never going to go to a baseball game and be like, wow.
Yeah.
Those 3 hours?
Yeah.
Man, I wasn't expecting that. It's like, you're an idiot if you go to a baseball game and you're surprised that it went long.
Hypothetical. Do you think they're trying to speed the game up because millennials have a shorter attention span?
I don't know. Probably not. They're probably not counting on millennials to keep the life of the business. It's the local cable deals.
I don't think anyone's counting on millennials.
No, not for anything.
Not for a lot of things.
Maybe,
what do you say, local what?
Maybe for the odd podcast.
Cable?
Yeah, the local cable deals. Like that's what keeps Major League Baseball afloat. So those deals are huge. Yeah. Like for example, like the NBA has a huge deal with I think it's ABC.
Yeah, ABC.
Yeah, and I think hockey's NBC.
Sportsnet, NBC. Yeah.
But the way people watch baseball, we don't tune into baseball to watch the big game on Sunday. Like, so with the NFL, you're going to tune in to watch the Monday nighter or the Sunday nighter. We don't do that with baseball. We follow our local teams. So WKC Cincinnati or like whatever that local station is.
Yeah.
Those are the people in those areas tune into those local networks to watch their team. So even if the Jays are dog shit, you're watching the Jays play all year. You're going to tune into Sportsnet and watch them play all summer long.
Yeah.
So that's where the MLB strikes their deals with these local providers. And that's what keeps them afloat. So if anything, it's not millennials, because millennials don't even purchase cable. They stream everything through their phone. So yeah, there's streaming deals that they have in place too. But if more than anything, it's like rural communities. If you're Major League Baseball, you want to be looking at rural communities.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because it's, like you said, it's old, there's tradition. You've got to, as bad as it sounds like I'm bashing, but like you almost look for those who aren't that up for change.
Up for not really motivated people.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why the Green Bay Packers do so well? Like they're literally in the suburbs of a community, aren't they? With like houses surrounding the stadium.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it with certain cities, it's like, or towns, yeah, what do you got going on? Like that's what makes some places great sports towns, is because that's what they have.
That's it.
Yeah. Or, you know, they have other things, but it's like not, they don't have everything. It's not New York or LA, which happen to be great sports towns, but some smaller ones thrive too. And there doesn't really seem to be a rhyme or reason as to why, but that's why college sports are huge too, though.
Yeah.
You get a small community, something to rally. But you can relate to that too, just with
Halifax West.
Just the junior hockey.
Yeah.
You go to some shitty town in Nova Scotia. And
yeah. It's interesting when there's no money involved, what sports is like compared to when there is money involved.
Yeah.
Not saying that, that's any worse. The competition level is low. Well, actually, that's not true. It could be even if you're playing, for example, for the New York Rangers on a Tuesday night, just top of my head, and you got $5 million in the bank. You're not trying to go pro. You are a pro. You're a millionaire. You're set for life. It's a Tuesday game against Nashville. You're not. Flip that. Let's say you're playing for Boston College. It's a Tuesday night game where they only play weekends. Yeah. You're trying to go to the show. You're going balls to the wall.
Well, and all your friends are in the crowd. You know what I mean? Like your mom and dad are watching. Like, there gets to a point where maybe your parents don't watch every game if you're a professional, because it's less impressive.
Yeah.
As funny as that sounds, but it's like when there's a chance that you might turn or you might make it, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
So you could argue that there is more incentive to be up for every game.
I wish we had more college channels on TV here. Not that I watch TV or college sports a lot, but if it was on sports and that TSN every now and then, which it is kind of TSN. Yeah. TSN basketball will be on every now and then.
Yeah, the Canadian stuff.
And also if we were from a place where, that's all it is.
Because what you're missing is the community. Like that's why college sports do so well, is because there's the community feel. Your friends are in the stands, everyone. Like there's this sense of pride. Whereas like you and I aren't going to have much sense of pride for some school in the middle of who knows where.
Well, let's go on this baseball talk here. How was the year? Was it
I don't know.
Was there any upsets? Was it a crazy year? I feel like the media makes every year seem amazing. Like they'll make stories out of something. Like, what was this year like?
Oh yeah, like I mean, there's definitely a lot of storylines in terms of, you know, individual player performances and different things happening in the league. But just in terms of like competitiveness, the American League was really spread out. So the best teams are like the best teams still like who've made the playoffs are from the American League.
Okay.
That's where the cream of the crop is. But the gap was huge. Like you could have said who was going to the playoffs weeks ago, if not like the middle of the summer. You knew who was good and who was bad and who was going to make it through.
So that's not exciting.
No, it's not. There's no real race.
Okay.
It's going to make the playoffs very competitive in the American League. They're going to be very good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not as exciting. But I mean, you don't really watch the regular season like that in baseball anyways.
Yeah.
The National League was much more competitive in terms like the teams aren't as good, but it was much more spread out. Like did you know there was a game today?
What?
Yeah. So
a wild card game?
Yeah, 2 actually, not wild card games, tiebreaker games. So both teams were already in the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought they were wild card. Okay.
But they needed to determine who won division. So Milwaukee and the Chicago Cubs played this afternoon.
Okay.
And the Brewers won. So the Brewers take division. So they're the top team in the National League now, so they play the winner of the wild card, and the Cubs will play the Braves.
Okay. Who's in the wild card games?
So that needs. Oh, it's actually the wild card will be the Cubs and the loser of the Rockies Dodgers. So they're playing the other game right now. So there's two. So a lot of teams were neck and neck in the National League all year. So. And there was young teams too that should, like the Braves are really young, should not have been good this year. And they took their division. So the National League was definitely more interesting. But I still think the best baseball is in the American League. And I'll be watching almost every series or most of every series, but I'm definitely more interested in the American League.
I really am interested in seeing the Yankees are in the wild card position, right?
Yankees A's.
When's that game?
Wednesday.
I'm really interested in that Aaron Judge guy. You know me, I like the big stage. I like watching the big stage. I like who's the real deal, who's not the real deal. Has he lived up to his name so far, or is it still young? Is he still too young to judge? No pun intended. Is he still too young to judge who he is as a player?
No, I think you have a pretty good idea who he is. He's good.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean,
is he the real deal?
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Do you think some players, like I know in hockey especially, like guys, they'll go to Brandon Pruss, perfect example. He admitted, he's like, I love going to the big markets, like love doing this, love doing that. Baseball, I feel like, I could be wrong when I say that, but is there players like that want to go to a big market, and some players that just want to be like, you know what, I'm going to go play in Milwaukee for my career. I really don't give a fuck about that.
Well, it's interesting because the influx of players coming into the league it's a little bit more diverse and different than other leagues.
And how so?
Well, you have a lot of players coming from different countries, so Dominican, Cuban.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, Venezuela. So there's a lot of guys who don't know the difference between LA or Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of those guys I don't think care. And not to speak for them, but my assumption would be that you've never had $1 in your life.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have millions of them. I can do that in Cincinnati. I can do that in Toronto.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So, but there's definitely players who get probably more American players, but international players as well that have sort of an appetite for the spotlight. I mean, who wouldn't like to play baseball in New York or Boston? That'd be pretty cool.
What's the most dominant country that plays baseball? Dominican Republic? Cuba?
Yeah, those two are up there. Venezuela's up there too. Yeah.
I was going to say, is it one of the most popular sports in the world? But I was going to say soccer pretty much is. But if you think about people coming from those poor countries, there must be a lot of competition.
Latin America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really played in.
If you can't reach it, just move the mic. Just move the mic.
I got it.
All right.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not like there's a lot of guys playing over there in Europe.
No,
they're playing in Asia though.
Yeah, everyone's going to Asia. Like the NHL was there.
A lot going on over there.
A lot going on over there. But the question is,
check it out.
Like, what's I hate to keep bringing hockey back in, but that's all I know. India, they have like an Indian broadcast for CBC Hockey Night in Canada.
Do they?
Apparently hockey's huge over in India. Love it.
Well, you got enough people. I mean, I'm sure you can find a little group for anything.
Isn't that interesting? It's a perfect definition of if you build it, they will come. How do Indians
Yeah.
don't know that they love hockey, but they made it. It's a sport. Now it's over there. Now they love it.
Yeah,
Same
that's
thing
what-
with baseball. Who's over? Anton's in Korea right now.
Is he? Yeah.
And his Snapchat is just he's at baseball games all day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You know, I'd love to
That would
see.
be awesome. It's good baseball too.
Is it? That's what I was gonna say. Like the level of.
They're good. Yeah.
Who's the guy that's playing for?
Otani for the Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this guy? He's the real deal.
He's unbelievable. I mean, more so it's like how his career will sort of pan out. Who's to say? But like what he's just doing right now. To have somebody, so he's a starting pitcher and he's the best batter on his team. He's not because that's Mike Trout.
That's not a thing, is it? On other teams, if you're the best pitcher, you're the one.
Pitchers don't hit. So he's a true switch player. Like
That's awesome.
on days that he starts, he also bats. Or like where he's in the American League, he can DH as well.
Yeah.
He's not just hit. Like there are pitchers you will see, like Madison Bumgarner's a guy. Like there's certain guys who can hit pretty well.
Yeah.
This guy mashes. Like you would bat him in like the 3, 4, 5 spot.
How old is
And
he?
he pitches. I don't know. I'm not sure because he came over, but like he's not old.
Okay.
He was injured, so he stopped pitching this year due to an injury, but he continued to bat. So it's cool. I mean, even if he can't pitch next year, just to see him get like 500 plate appearances, something like that'd be really cool. Because if you go back like to remember any year and just sort of think like nothing like that has ever
I
happened.
was gonna say, if you're his agent, aren't you bargaining for more money because he's
Well,
two players?
you got a huge deal.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, you got a huge deal. I mean, Babe Ruth did both, but like it was completely different.
Yeah.
You would never look back on a single season and be like, oh yeah, well, we also had something like it's just like really out of the ordinary. And in a way, it's sort of been it was covered very well, but in a way, it was almost undercovered a little bit.
Yeah.
He's in a big market though. He's in LA, so you're gonna see plenty of him.
Who was the first Asian player to really come on the scene in the MLB? I'm thinking of the guy from Seattle.
Ichiro?
Was he like?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Like that's what I remember. Hideo Nomo was a pitcher for the Dodgers.
I don't know.
He was like a big guy, but that was sort of the same timeline.
Yeah.
I don't remember much before then, so there might be, but as far as I'm aware.
How did you get, like, was your dad a baseball guy? Because I know you said, like, you used to watch the Bulls, and I was like, that's one thing I'm always jealous of, is, like, basketball was never on in my household when I was younger.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen some of that era. Was baseball on in your house?
Yep. Yeah.
Blue Jays? Like, how did the A's come about for you?
So the A's have been the team that I've followed since I was like, I think I was in grade 3. I was 8 or 9.
How did that happen?
It was totally random. So I really liked their team. So the first baseball I ever watched, baseball was on in my house. My dad's a huge baseball fan. But TBS, which is now, I don't have cable.
Oh, it was like Peachtree TV.
Peachtree, and it used to be Channel 51. Yeah.
Seinfeld was on that channel.
Yeah, exactly. So TBS Superstation, back in the day, was the home of the Atlanta Braves. So I watched all of these Braves games. So I remember it was the first team I ever followed, even before the Blue Jays. Rafael Furcal, was their shortstop, like first favorite player. And I just started consuming a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
And I remember the playoffs. It was when the A's had a really good pitching rotation. So it was like Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson. And they, like, Eric Chavez was my favorite baseball player at the time. So they just had a bunch of guys that I really liked.
Okay.
I just kind of stuck with them.
Yeah.
I would have been like 8, 9, 10 years old. And so that's who I still follow.
When you watched the movie Moneyball, do you remember that actually happening in real life, that streak?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did they do a good job of...
I didn't live it. But
I know, but you watched it.
yeah.
Like, were they accurate with everything? I guess, yeah, it's true. If you are watching it,
Yeah.
you're not on the team. I guess you can only.
I mean, there's some things obviously like I don't know, but there's some things I've read
Yeah.
about like certain things that were accurate or weren't accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, from a fan's perspective, it seemed pretty spot on. I remember when they like, I don't know, when did that movie come out? Was it 2010,
10, 11, 12.
Like I remember the rumors for that movie. Right after actual Moneyball, it was like probably like 2006-ish.
Okay.
And there was talks about Brad Pitt was going to play Billy Bean. I was just like, no way that's ever going to fucking happen. Like, who would even watch this movie about base? Like, I'd watch it like, who wants to see this movie?
Yeah.
So it's funny that it actually became such a big movie, but that was in the works for years.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's like, okay, I guess to jump back to like the present, the A's are in the wild card game this year. So
how pumped are you?
Well, I'm excited.
When's the game?
Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah. So they play the Yankees, but they started the season as the lowest payroll team in the majors
this year.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Billy Bean's still there.
No. Yeah. Billy Bean's still there.
Cool. That's wicked.
They're the first team to ever have the absolute lowest payroll and then make the playoffs. Like start the season with the absolute.
Wait, this year?
Yeah.
That's a story. That's huge.
It is. It's a really big deal. So, and it's funny the thing about baseball too. Like it's such a long season. It's essentially 2 NHL seasons or 2 NBA seasons.
Yeah,
we're playing 162 games.
Yeah,
and I mean, with basketball, if you played the NBA Finals at any point during the season, there's a pretty good chance Golden State's gonna win.
Yeah,
but with baseball, I mean, it's all about rhythm and streaks, all of that. Yeah, exactly. Who's hot when, and usually who wins the World Series is the team who turns it on in September. Mm-hmm. So if you played the World Series at any point during the season, you'd have multiple champions.
Yeah.
For one season.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but the start of this season, it's like Oakland was okay. They were right there, but the team in their division who was doing really good, other than the Astros, was Seattle. And it was like, oh shit, like Seattle came out of nowhere. But then it was the halfway point, and like Oakland just became the best team in baseball. For the second half of the season, they were like the best team in baseball. And yeah, now they're in the wild card game and
against the Yankees.
Yeah.
Do the Yankees have the highest payroll in the league?
I don't know, but it probably. I'd have to look,
so
but
sick.
They're up there.
Now I'm excited for this. Yeah, this is the movie. This is the movie coming to life, essentially. I don't know if they had the streak, but like lowest versus highest, Giambi. You're still trying to replace Giambi. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, like most sports, like baseball's like a copycat sport. Somebody does something once right.
Is it?
People are going to start to try to emulate that or copy it. The Red Sox were like the first team to really kind of lean into it. Like they won the World Series in 2004. That was the year they broke the streak. I think that was 04.
Okay.
They basically did Moneyball, and a lot of teams have. They've done.
They took the numbers route. Get on base.
Like
get on
Bill
base.
James methodology. Like so, they did Moneyball, but they also have a payroll. So it's like, yeah, it's great what Oakland does.
Yeah.
But they're still poor. So they're still at a disadvantage because now everyone knows what they do.
Yeah.
Other teams can do it, and other teams can also pay a big name player. So that's why they're still like a disadvantage. And it's like, Oakland hasn't won in the Billy Bean era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's great, but other teams can sort of do that, copy it, and still pay. Like the Red Sox have a huge payroll, but they're very advanced in their way of thinking and the players they bring up and draft and grow in their system. Like they're definitely one of the best front offices in baseball and how they groom their organization.
Yeah.
But they can also just go out and pay any guy they want.
Is Billy Bean a hot commodity in the MLB? Like, do other teams want this guy? Because imagine what he could do with a budget.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few years ago where he went all in at the deadline and like traded off a bunch of their they always trade off their best guys, no matter if they're in their prime or not, and get prospects.
Why?
It's just because they're not going to pay somebody what they think they can replace with young talent prospects or just random guys.
As a fan, do you get annoyed by that?
You definitely. Like I did a few years ago. They traded off a bunch of their best players. Now I remember the haul they got back was like, you probably wouldn't even know anything, but it was like Jeff Samardzija. I can't remember if Zach Greinke was part of the deal, but they got a bunch of like top pitching guys.
Yeah.
Because what would happen, they'd play Detroit every year in the playoffs, and they would get smoked because Detroit had the best pitching. So they tried to match it, and it didn't work out. Well, they lost. It was a good series, but I mean, they lost. And it was kind of like, I think that's when maybe some people started to sour on Billy Beane. It's like, when is he ever going to figure this out? Because now he's even doing things he wouldn't typically do. But I mean, he's still really good. I'm sure he would not be without a job, put it that way.
Yeah.
Like, somebody else would be happy to have him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he did it again. So yeah, he's good. Yeah. But sorry, what were we gonna say?
No, I'm just thinking Wednesday. Like I'm excited. Like I am excited. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is why I kind of have you here, because I want you to get me excited for some of these series, like things like. But now I'm excited for this game on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So the Yankees this season.
Yeah.
They broke the MLB record for like home runs in a season, like by a team.
Wow.
Yeah. So they the most ever home runs by a team in a single season.
So the steroid police are going to be in that dressing room this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got a lot of guys who can hit, but I mean that's what's interesting though. So Yankee Stadium, the game's at Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium is a hitter's ballpark. When they built the new stadium, they built it on a wind tunnel.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. Built it on a wind tunnel, so balls fly out of there. Oakland Coliseum is notoriously like one of the worst hitters ballparks. It's massive.
Isn't it like a football stadium?
Yeah, actually, that's where the Raiders play too.
Yeah. I was watching the game on Sunday,
like
and there was
there's dirt in the middle of the field. Yeah. But foul territory is huge. They're like, the bullpen is on the field, like not back in the outfield. It's on the sides of the field. There's just so much territory. Like, it's deep to the corners. It's tough to hit there. So it's like, I think if the game's in Oakland wins for sure. I actually think Oakland is the much better team. The Yankees are the team I have the least amount of faith in out of the American League.
Oh yeah.
But the Yankees have really big bats, and
they're in a wind tunnel.
Well, yeah, they're home. They're in a hitter's ballpark, so it's like it's one game. It's not a 7-game series or a 5-game series. It's one game, so they'll probably win. They might win. I still think Oakland's a better team. Like, I would take Oakland.
Oh yeah.
But it is funny how much it shifts depending on where they play.
I feel like baseball is one of the hardest sports to gamble on. Is that a correct statement? I feel like
Yeah.
I said.
Well, there's a lot of variables. Like, a lot of times it comes down to who's pitching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to know the sport to bet on it.
Yeah.
Or just fluke it.
Yeah, because it could be a terrible team. Like, for years, the Seattle Mariners with Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
He was like one of the best pitchers in baseball, but they were a terrible team. So just a casual fan or the casual gambler would be like, okay, I'll take whoever's playing Seattle. They suck.
Yeah.
But if Felix Hernandez is pitching, it's a different story. Because you've got 5 or 6 different pitchers who are going to pitch on any given night.
When you were saying how, I forget what you were saying a second ago. I was thinking of baseball. Yeah, you're talking about how Billy Beane was trying to like not revolutionize the game, but he's trying to always figure things out. People took his idea, ran with it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of hockey. It's like, you know what, hockey has changed from 10 years ago to where it is now. But then I thought of basketball.
Yeah.
Is basketball a sport that can be transformed, or is basketball what it is? Like, you can't really do anything else to.
Well, I would argue that it has been.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean,
the 3-ball, Steph Curry.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, look at what you're seeing right now. That was a rule. You could fact check me, but I think it was like sometime in the 70s.
Yeah.
Where they adopted 3-point line. To think about that, it's like they played basketball for a very long time. There's a lot of greats who played without a 3-point line, and then it was there, and it was sort of this casual thing. Like, I don't know, but now it's like, if you had told me a few years ago the tallest guy on the floor is going to be 6'9", and I know that sounds really tall to like the regular people like you and I
just thought of sex when you said 6'9".
Nah, yeah. Sorry about that. But typically the tallest guy on a court, like when I grew up, there was a 7-footer on the floor at all times, or they were like 6'11", 6'10". But like now, a lot of times the biggest guy on the floor is 6'9", 6'8", because instead there used to be 2 big men. Like, you would have a 7-footer, and then your power forward would be 6'10", 6'11". Like, Tim Duncan was a power forward.
Yeah.
And now it's like those guys have to be centers.
Yeah.
Because you want to have as many versatile players on the floor as you possibly can. So anyone who's like wings. The more wings, the better. Anyone who's like long armed, it doesn't matter how tall you are. Really, you just have to be a versatile defender.
Yeah.
So now more of those guys, and then more guys who are just sort of spacing the floor and shooting 3-pointers. They're shooting threes at a clip like they never did.
Do you think that's good for the game of basketball or bad? It is exciting for the fans, but it can be repetitive.
Well,
because there has been times where I'm watching and it's just like, all right, shoot a 3, miss. Shoot a 3, make it. Shoot a 3, make it. Shoot a 3, miss.
Yeah, Houston's kind of like that. I do think it's good for the game. I think it adds level of excitement. Anytime you can inject more offense into a sport, it's typically better for the viewers. I am personally not the biggest fan of it because I really like old school big men,
X's and O's.
I like post moves. I like really good footwork, fundamental stuff. Like I love watching that. It's not as it's not as easy to watch as this fast-paced shooting threes, though. Like I'll admit that, like watching a fat 7-foot guy just get the ball in the low block and sort of
weasel his way through.
It's not riveting stuff. But I mean, some guys are really good, and I do miss that element of the game. And I do think it's going to come back. And in certain ways, because there's some guys in the league who don't post up nearly enough and could be destroying these smaller lineups. And I think certain teams have gotten carried away with how they play. If you look at a guy like Joel Embiid, like, yeah, he can shoot threes. That's great. I love to see it. But, man, let him go post up the other guy's big man. He'll destroy them. It's like the conversation people talk about Shaq. Like, oh, Shaq couldn't play nowadays. It's like, yeah, he could. Shaq was 350 pounds.
But I've heard that the league has become a lot more sensitive, especially the refs. Like if there's a guy down low trying to post someone up and trying to dunk, like they'll get fouled right away. That the league has become that.
Well, no. So fouls get called more often for sure. They removed the hand checking rule. That's something. So
what's the hand checking rule?
Like in Jordan's era in the 90s, like you could have your hand. The defender could have his hand on the guy.
On the defense? You can't do that anymore?
No, I mean you get away with it, but like they'll call it. They look to call it. Ooh. Whereas back in the day, like that was acceptable contact. Big men is a little different because big men actually don't get treated fairly. Like they get hit a lot more.
Yeah.
And they don't get called because it doesn't look like much. The little guy gets hit, he goes flying. When a big guy gets hit, he barely flinches. So it's like they don't get the calls as much. But anyways, I mean, that's getting carried away a little bit. But I think, yes, the game has changed. And I wonder, like, I think about it all the time. Like, I think the NBA has changed so much. Like I said, if you told me the biggest guy on the court was a small guy and that everyone's shooting threes, I'd be like, man, like, no, I don't buy that. But then I think, like, what other sports could that happen in? Like,
can't think of one.
Like, I don't know. Like, what if football? They just like
small little guys going around.
I don't know. Like, what if they just eliminated the running, which they're sort of doing now. Like, I'm a casual football fan, but like the way I understand it is there's not as many big guys coming through the middle like to hit players. I think there's some sort of rule about that. So I think it's just like a safety rule. But so more offenses seem to be a little bit more pass friendly. Like they're not rushing the ball like they used to. Well, but what if the NFL just went all in and turned their running backs into full out receivers and just. What if they were just bombing?
Just no run game.
I don't know anything about football, and that sounds ridiculous, but I would have thought the same thing about basketball at the volume that they shoot 3-point.
Well, the throwing plays are the most exciting plays. Like when a running back goes, it's great if he breaks through the middle and he goes through the end zone, but that's a rare occasion.
That's right.
So when someone throws up the side, that's kind of exciting. But my question was regarding to Billy Beane's thing in baseball, how a lot of people copied his style and implemented it into their team.
Yeah.
Are people doing that with baseball with Golden State, or are they just saying, fuck that, we can't do it because we don't have those guys? Like you can't teach someone a three.
That's the problem, and they are doing that, but they're not built to do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they're gonna try to beat a team the same way they play.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who perfected it. When really it's like you gotta figure out what you're good at and beat them that way. If you're gonna beat them, you're probably
that's harder work.
You can't copy them and try to beat them. Yeah. So teams do that, and it's kind of foolish. It's acceptable to a certain extent because you got to keep up.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean about like all these big guys who are in the gym all summer, like practicing their threes. It's like, that's great, but like play to your strengths. If you're the best post-up big man in the league, do that at least 50% of your possessions. Like don't try to catch the ball outside of the key. Anyways, do you know what the opener strategy is for baseball?
No.
Because it's so what you were just asking about with like Billy Beane and Moneyball.
Yeah.
That's kind of happened again. So like, you know how traditionally you have starting pitchers and relief pitchers and then a closer.
Yeah.
So like the Rays did it this year. I'm pretty sure the Rays invented this, but like the A's are going to do it, and you'll probably, if you're watching the game on Wednesday, or just if they make it further to the playoffs, you'll see it as well.
Okay.
Because the A's do it. A couple other teams do it. It's basically changing the way pitching rotations work. So instead of having a starting pitcher start your game, what they do, they'll start the game with like a middle reliever.
So like the fourth, fifth?
Just a guy that might come out of the bullpen for a couple innings here or there.
Okay.
What they do, they'll come in and they'll start the game. So they're like the opener. And then you bring your starting pitcher in later in the game. But you're saving innings on that pitcher.
Yeah.
And you're getting them longer into the game. And you're also, basically you're just seeing the way how pitching in general has changed. Like, you'll see a lot more positional players pitch on random nights. So for example, like if your team's if you're losing, and say your pitcher just got shelled, so you need to bring somebody in, why would you go to your bullpen and take a good pitcher who might need to pitch tomorrow night in a game that you have a chance to win?
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, now they're like, hey, Justin, you're on second base. Why don't you go pitch?
No way.
Yeah. That's happened more than ever this season. And you're seeing more of it. So they're kind of throwing away games. And I mean, Major League Baseball might not be super happy about it.
Very
but like,
politically, I find.
Yeah, like you might be pissed off. Like you're taking away a level of competitiveness. It's like when they bench guys in NBA, like when they rest their starters.
Yeah.
And fans get pissed off because they came to see LeBron, but LeBron's resting. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, you came to see a competitive game and all of a sudden the third baseman's pitching.
Yeah.
But it's very strategic and it puts an emphasis on efficiency. Like, why waste a pitcher's innings when you don't need to? Like in unimportant situations. Yeah. So, you know, with the opener strategy is you basically put a reliever out there and then you've got your starter later in the game for the same amount of innings. Or like for Oakland, for example, they have a couple good starters, but they really don't have great starting pitchers, but they have a really good bullpen. So, instead of having a pitcher just typically, like, you'd have a pitcher automatically pitch 5 or 6 innings no matter what. But if that's not your strength, why do that? So you'll see them, they'll pitch a bunch of relievers all game for 2 innings, 3 innings, and just keep swapping out.
I feel like when it comes to playoff, this strategy doesn't come into play because if you only have about, what are the best of 7 series, right? You're just using all your best pitchers. So even if you're losing, you're still trying to come back. Am I correct? Like they're not going to put a second baseman in.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But in this scenario where like the A's bullpen's strength is their strength over their starting pitchers, they're going to pitch their relievers more than their starters. Because typically, like,
okay, I understand.
Every team has 4 or 5 in the playoffs. You usually go with 4 starters.
Yeah.
But if your 4th starter is kind of junk, but you've got a great bullpen, why even entertain the idea of having your 4 starter try to pitch 5 or 6 innings tonight? It's like when you trust your bullpen more. You can have everyone just pitch shorter innings. Sorry,
throughout the season, each team has 4 or 5 pitchers on a rotation?
Typically 5. You're seeing that stretched out more now, though. There are teams with 6.
So you'll play one game, take 5 games off, and then you play the next.
Yeah. But it puts a big toll on a pitcher's arm. Like, you only have so many pitches.
Oh yeah. When you see those counts go up to like 62, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, typically like the golden number for a good pitcher is typically like 100. They start
one
watching
game?
Guys. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
can you imagine.
Yeah, imagine what your arm would feel like. You know what it's like when you're like you go out in the spring for the first time.
Oh yeah.
You toss a ball like 4 or 5 times. The next day you can't pick up your phone.
Imagine doing that at like 30 years old. That's one thing about baseball that do you want coffee? Do you mind? No, go ahead. Actually, I think mine's. Do you want some? Yeah, it might be cold. Mine's cold. That could be good.
I guess this isn't like a thermos.
Is it cold? Is it hot?
It's a lukewarm.
I don't want any. Damn it! I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? Baseball.
Yeah.
Pitching. 6. Oh, first toss is spring ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, now I got it. That's one thing I love about baseball and the players that I feel, especially, not the pitching position, because I feel that position can be short-lived, but I feel any other position, I could be wrong, first, second, third base, shortstop, outfield, I feel like you can make that career last.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can play to your 36, 37
those
easily.
are typically, yeah. I mean, guys play ball into their 40s, and those are typically the guys. It's real impressive when pitchers play into their 40s. Bartolo Colon did it.
Oh, the big guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy. He's a character.
This is last season. I think David Wells did it too, which is coincidentally another really fat guy.
Yeah. Fat guys, man.
CC Sabathia is old too. Something about fat pitchers, for whatever reason, have long careers.
It's because they don't need to throw with their shoulder. Their weight transfers the ball. It's the belly weight, and it gets the ball in there quicker.
Well, it's also probably the only muscle they exercise.
Could you imagine you're just in the summer, you're just doing this, just
windmills?
Yeah, windmills. You just get it going.
Yeah. But yeah, usually positional players like your second basemen, third basemen.
Yeah.
They're the guys who have the longer careers.
As we get older, like you're 27, I'm going to be 27 soon here.
Yeah.
And then you start to see guys' careers are over at like 28 and 29, 30. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a second. That's kind of young.
Yeah. When you realize that these guys are in their prime, or like when they talk about someone's prime, it's like 27.
Yeah.
And you couldn't be further away from your athletic prime. It's like I peaked at 18 or something, and these guys have peaked for what's even possible.
Yeah.
It's like
I think in every guy's head they still think they can play a major sport. I still think I can play in the NHL. I can still do it. But no, then you hear that, you're like, yeah, he's in his prime right now. He's 26, probably has like 3-4 years left, and it's like, wow, he's gonna be done at like 30.
Oh yeah.
What?
They talk about like Kyle Lowry, for example. It's like, oh, who wants to play a point guard over 30?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to pay someone over 30 that much money. He turns 30 like the next month or whatever. Like, who wants to pay them that much?
I was like 30.
30. Yeah.
I said that when Kobe retired. He quit. What's Kobe? 38. He's 37. He's like, man, he's still young. Like, you're 38. Yeah. Like, you're young.
Yeah.
Like, the guy has so much more in the grand scheme of things.
Well, and they're the best. So, yeah, think about the average players. People talk about how much money they make, but, like, the average players, typically, they're out of the league when they're 30, 31.
Yeah. Think about football.
You got another 30 years of work. You know what I mean? Like, most people would work till they're about 60. So, like, what are you going to do for the average guy? Man, if you went into the sport at 18 making millions, you would not be money smart. Maybe you would. I know I wouldn't be. I think it's changed a little bit, though. Like, the athletes who have sort of come before certain guys are doing a better job of being responsible and telling guys. Any guys that we had on the podcast over the summer, we like Luke Green, Highmore. We had a couple guys with NHL contracts. What's that? Was that a hyphenated person? What? Luke Green? Highmore? No, that's his first name is Matthew Highmore. So it's two people. It's one person, Matthew Highmore. One person. You're confusing me. Yeah. And I asked him every single time, I'm like, have you spent your money on stupid shit? And like, no, I'm just, saved it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you think of like, what's that dog? Bill Burr had a great rant on it because ESPN did a 30 for 30 called Broke. Yeah. It was just a bunch of football players. Yeah. Just bought a boat and bought a couple four-wheelers. Yeah. Bought a mansion. And then they're all broke. It's definitely different with hockey players too, though, because they don't make money like these other athletes. No. Yeah. It's like you think about it, like a good contract in the NHL. It's like, you're making $4 million a year. That's a good contract. Like, what does Sid make? 8.7, but he took a pay cut. Like Kane and he makes 8.7. 8.7. He loves that number. Yeah, that's something. That's kind of creepy. It's kind of lame, but I guess there's no way that $8.7 million could be lame. But yeah, but he's probably making some money out. Well, definitely making a smart money. Guy, and you take care of your money and you do other things. A great contract in the NHL, you're making McDavid signed for $12 million a year for 9 years. That's a role player in the NBA. $12 million a year. Yeah. Isn't that sickening? Like, you don't know who that player is. I'm pretty sure Fred VanVleet just signed for 12 mil. Fred VanVleet, the Raptors backup point guard. Yeah, see, there you go. I don't know who that is. I think it's something in that neighborhood. But, there are guys who wouldn't even know. Like, Ryan Anderson is a bum. and he makes $20 million a year, and he doesn't even really play.
So think about this. You're playing.
That's an example of a bad contract too, but like, yeah.
So think about this. You're playing at the Air Canada Center, or you're not playing. Let's say you play for the Raptors and you're on the bench. You're making $20 million a year, not really doing anything. But then Austin Matthews is in the stands. He runs the show in the NHL.
Turn it up.
They just turn the ice over to the court, and he's only making like $10 million.
Yeah, and
he's like one of the best in the NHL.
Yeah,
and he hasn't even signed his contract yet. But when he does, like it'll be like $10 million.
Yeah,
could you imagine?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys on NBA benches who are making $15 million a year. Yeah, and
so what is if you're making $15 million a year? You better be, and you're not playing. You're just a bench role player.
Well, yeah, you have to be so
grateful.
Play, but yeah,
so grateful.
Yeah.
Like
you would think.
I would say please and thank you. I would hold the door. I still do that anyways, but to the organization, like if anyone said, hey, all right, we have to go visit some sick kids at the hospital, I'd be like, all right, yeah, me, I'll go right now. Yeah, let's go. Like, if I wasn't contributing on the floor,
I do think they're contractually obligated to do those things.
You don't think?
No, I think they are.
Oh, they have to?
Yeah. I'm sure they want to.
Imagine how many times, like every time a professional team goes to a hospital to visit sick kids, I've noticed that the answer is the same. It's it's a great thing to be a part of. Well, not even just sick kids, just like anything they do. It's I'm happy to be a part of it, happy to help, happy to put a smile on, happy to. Yeah. When you become in the world of media, the answers are all the same. I couldn't tell you how many times. Why else
are you going to visit sick kids?
Yeah, it's for the kids. You got to put a smile on their face.
I just like looking at them.
Yeah, I just like looking at them. No, but it's not even. I guess it's the world of It's just one thing I've noticed over the past year doing this. It's just all the hockey guys are like same answers. You got to just. But I guess it's my job to get different answers out of people.
Definitely.
Baseball play. I love the baseball character. The baseball character is kind of similar to the hockey character. Excuse me. But the baseball character I find is a little bit more. Almost non-English, like Humvee, like it's almost a.
Well, they're typically some of them are like the backwoodsy type, country type.
And I love that. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Grew up on a farm, but there's definitely like a level of candidness that you want, and hockey players definitely don't have that. And most athletes don't have that, but when you find an athlete who's like can speak very candidly, I mean that's what's the most refreshing, because they're just talking to you like a normal person.
I wonder if there's more fights between baseball teams or hockey teams, because if you think about it, baseball guys, how many games are in a year? 152?
162.
162 games in a year. You can't tell me that there's teammates that fucking hate each other by the end of the year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure that's the case, but also like I don't think with a lot of those teams, I don't think a lot of those guys even really know each other.
Like football players, like defense and offensive line.
Well, yeah, that's a great example. Defensive, offensive line, but like baseball, I'm thinking like if you're a relief pitcher, you spend all your time in the bullpen, you hang out with the pitchers, why are you going to know the third baseman? Why are you going to know the star outfielder? Like, each other, but you're talking like you've got all these players who are speaking different languages. You got the guys who are speaking Spanish.
I never thought of that.
Got your Americans or Canadians, and then there's Asian players. So like you have all these cliques of people who come from different regions, and then you have cliques because people play different positions. Like pitchers and catchers hang out, outfielders, infielders hang out, and then it's like you also have a 30-man roster, and then there's a 50-man roster, so it's like there's just so many bodies, and people are coming up and down in major leagues all the time, and then
getting traded. So
it's like, guys. How well do you really get to know a guy? Like you're probably you're tight with a certain group of guys for sure. But I don't think you know the entire team. So I'm sure there is some beef. But
honestly, what you just described to me was just a workspace office. Just you're in an office.
Yeah.
There's 100, there's whatever, 30, 50 people in the office.
Yeah.
You don't know everyone.
Yeah. It's like, how well do you really know?
You see them every day.
Yeah.
You got to work together, but
you go, hey, how are you? And that's where it ends. Yeah.
It's just, you just play sports, but you don't actually know them.
Yeah.
It's like that in hockey, like the French players, English players. There's a huge divide in the dressing room between that. Well,
and I think that's what casual sports fans, or just, people in general, don't consider, and they sort of forget, is that like they're professional athletes, and a lot of them do. I know there's a lot of unprofessional athletes, but like they do treat it in a professional manner. They go to work, it's their job.
They're pros.
Like for us, it's so cool, but this is work. They go there every single day. Like, you think they love playing baseball every single day? Like, some of them, yeah, which is great, but like a lot of them, no.
They're just amazingly skilled at it. I've had this. We talked about this before.
Yeah, so
every sport has a guy like that.
So yeah, you're not all like super excited. Oh, this is my team. I love my teammates. It's like, no, that's my coworker.
Yeah,
we have a goal. We need to win. I want to sign that next contract.
Could you imagine being in the position, not even in the position, just imagine being dull to performing in front of 20,000 people? How many people are in baseball stadiums? 50? I know they're bigger than like an average.
Yeah, I mean, they vary, but yeah.
So then imagine after, I know Hulk Hogan, don't ask me why I'm bringing up Hulk Hogan, but he had that reality show, and like he was retiring, he retired, he had nothing to do with Saturday, and he's playing like checkers, and he was playing a board game with his family on a Saturday. Just the guy's bored out of his mind. He's like, I'm used to filling out $20,000 people plus arenas and just slamming people into the ground. Right now I'm playing checkers. I'm bored out of my mind. I wonder if people that are done sports are just like, what the fuck am I doing right now? Like, I got nothing to do.
Some people never find anything to fill that void.
That's a tough thing to fill.
Yeah.
Imagine.
But some people, like,
the people that are sick of it, just like, they don't care.
Yeah, I heard Kobe say the other day, someone was like, how often do you still play basketball? And he's like, I don't.
I can see that.
Yeah, and JJ Redick said that. I was listening to his podcast.
He has a podcast?
Yeah, it's good. But they're like asking like when he eventually does retire, sort of thing. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna touch a basketball. Like, as soon as I retire, like, obviously I'm gonna pick it up again at some point, but I'm not gonna touch a basketball again for a long time. And I think that's more common amongst athletes.
Yeah, I agree on that aspect of it. It's just the performing. I think that they missed the performing of it. I think they would miss, maybe not, because no, you know what, I could never say, because I've never done it for 15 plus years. Maybe I would get sick of it too. Maybe it would just be, another thing for you.
Think about Hulk Hogan, he is performing. That's a performance. He has to be on 100 every single time he goes under the ring. Like, he's pumping up a crowd. Like, he's not just an athlete.
It's performance art.
Exactly.
Art, whatever, you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, another thing about it is, obviously Kobe has a bunch of documentaries about what he did when he played, and like the commitment that he put into it. And it's like, I'm up at 4 a.m. calling the trainer, shooting threes before practice, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not fun. Even though he does it because he loves the game of basketball. Yeah. But if you're, like you said, JJ Redick, I'm sure the exact same thing. Like, that's not fun. You do it because you want to be great.
Yeah. It is very much a job.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how guys separate themselves in the leagues. Like, it's the guys who, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's the guys who put in the work. Like, and they always say that about the NBA. It's like, it's the guys who are at the gym at 5 a.m., and they don't have to be there till noon. It sounds like common sense when you think about it.
But it's just in life, man. If you're a pro, you just show up. You show up. Like, they're just showing up every day. They're at the gym, they're shooting, they're showing up. People show up to the gym, and what's the perfect example from that movie? The guy, Bunny, the football movie, Bobby.
Bunny?
No.
Space Jam?
No. Friday Night Lights. Booby.
Oh, yeah.
Booby shows up to the gym. He's got all the skill in the world. Hey, Booby, I didn't see you lift any weights. I don't need to lift weights. I'm going to this show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that happens to people and then they get hurt afterwards, but like,
man, that's
if you show up.
Do you watch American Vandal?
Was that with
It's like
Jimmy Tatro?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that up?
Well, there's a season 2. Have you seen season 2?
No, I haven't. Season 1 was great though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Season 2, there's a turd burglar. Like, somebody makes their like school shit.
Okay.
They spike the lemonade.
Love it.
So, yeah. You're hooked already.
Yeah. You're sold.
But so they're trying to catch this person, but the point is, like, there's a basketball team, so it's this private school. The basketball team, it's like a top ranked school, and there's this star player who's going to go to the NBA.
Okay.
And it just, like, obviously it's a show, but just the way he sort of carries himself, like, he's definitely the type of guy, like, I don't need to practice, I don't need to do any of this. I'm not worried about school, I'm not worried about anything, like, I'm going to the show. When you grow up and you're the best, you've always been the best amongst your group of friends, your league, your neighborhood, your town, your city, you're so used to being the best. But once you get to the profession, like, you just expect these things. Like, if nothing has ever been hard for you in the world of basketball or baseball or hockey, why would you expect it to be? Why would you think you need to work hard if it's never been difficult? But it's not until you become a professional that those things actually become difficult, because everyone's who makes it there has the talent. Then it's the hard work that starts to separate. So that's why you see so many like top draft picks. Guys never had to work hard for anything, but then they just flame out because
they got to work hard.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, basketball's always been easy. Like, well, newsflash, like it's not anymore.
Another great example where life just or sports can relate to life, just like anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the great thing about sports, right?
I guess so. So we're coming up on an hour here. I could talk for another hour, but I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
How was your day, actually?
It was fine.
Okay.
Pardon?
Yeah, you had a good day?
Yeah, case of the Mondays, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing, eh? Mondays. Monday
no,
blues.
Fine. Yeah. Yep, it was fine.
So Wednesday, where are you watching the game?
Home.
Right.
Did you want to come over?
Yeah, what time's the game on at?
It's on at 9.
Yeah, probably not.
That's late for you, yeah.
I hate...
It's late for me.
Yeah, it's late for anyone.
Yeah.
We're not getting old, are we?
No.
No.
But if you got a reason to get up in the morning, it becomes difficult.
Even if I was 16, no, that's a lie.
Yeah.
If I was when you're like a teenager, you don't give a fuck about time.
No.
Just I'll do this at any time. I'll do it.
I would watch a baseball game, like, because sometimes they go in extra innings. I'd watch it till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, even if I had to be up for school at 8. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. I'm 14 years old.
I remember drinking when you're like 19. Like, you drink 12 beer, it'd be fine in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to work every Saturday at 8:30.
Yes.
And
tons of stories in there.
And it's just like, yeah, you drink till 3 or 4 o'clock and then get it together and do what you got to do.
Actually, I've been thinking about this in my head. I'll bring it up to you now and to everyone listening. Yeah. Sober October.
You just want to give up drinking for October?
Yes.
Is October the month for that?
Why you think November is? Well, I'm thinking, I'm thinking like leading up to Christmas, and I'm just thinking I'm going to be drinking my face off for Christmas. Yeah. And I just, honestly, not even October, maybe even November. I just want to see how long I can go. Like, I really want to try. Yeah. I know, like, maybe sports are on the best, I know.
Yeah. Maybe no drink November.
No, maybe. I'm really going to try for October.
There's Thanksgiving in October.
I know, but it's just like, then it's November, then it's like, oh, it's someone's birthday. Every month there's an excuse to drink. Yeah. It's just, that's what I've learned. Because each month I'm trying. It's like, oh, June, July, August, you can't. That's summer. I just find an excuse for everything. I really want to try. I'm doing great so far. It's only the first, but...
You could also try that whole moderation thing.
What does that mean?
Apparently that's a big...
Moderation, no. Yeah. If you ever say to someone, yeah, let's go to the bar and have one beer, it's just like, it's not a thing. Right,
but you can have a beer or two at home.
I guess you can. Yeah. But I don't like to have a beer or two at home.
I know what you mean.
It's like people that come home and have a beer, I just don't see the point. I guess I do see the point, but I don't. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like to have a beer by myself.
I have shifted away from more so like drinking 10 beer one night a week to like drinking 2 beer every single night. It really just keeps in line with my diet.
Question.
But it's less irresponsible.
Outside of beer, have you been experimenting any whiskeys? I've been experimenting.
I've been experimenting
a little with my liquors. Yeah. So just the beer. I love the beer after the hockey.
Well, if you're drinking any sort of volume, you're gonna want to not drink a lot of beer.
But the way I see it is the less calories with the whiskey. Like, you have a glass of whiskey, less calories. Yep. Yeah. Tastes like shit, but there's also good taste in whiskey out there.
We can't continue to drink beer at the pace we have our entire lives.
No.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah. So you find other things.
But anyways, I'm going to try for all of October. And November. I'm going to try.
All right. You're not going to drink at the Fall Classic?
See, there's another excuse. Like,
it's just ball and baseball, man. Yeah. They go hand in hand.
There's
beer and baseball.
Yeah. I know everyone goes, yeah, January, I'm not going to have a drink. But it's just like the first time someone goes, all right, let's have a drink. It's like, yep, I love it. I'm going to have a drink. Yeah. Every month, Kev. There
are better drinking months than others, though. It's like you don't need to have a drink in February? Actually, you probably do because February is pretty depressing. But like, do you need to have a drink in April, March?
Yeah, probably.
You do?
Oh, I think of March Madness.
Oh yeah.
April,
Yeah,
April. I'm trying
Easter.
to think.
Yeah, I don't know when.
April. Yeah, April's a pretty.
April Fools.
You got to drink then.
Yeah.
But that's just the thing. Every single month, there's an excuse to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm. What would you call it? October.
Sober October.
Sober
Joe,
October.
they do it on Joe Rogan's
Yeah.
podcast, like those group of guys, and I was like, man, I'll try that. I'll try to.
Yeah. Everybody's doing it.
Kind of a sensitive stuff, not sensitive, but your wedding.
Oh yeah.
The liquor situation. What's is it open bar?
It's a sober wedding.
No, it's a sober wedding.
It's dry. Yeah.
What's the bar situation?
Well, there is no.
Oh, but
no alcohol.
It's a.
It's a BYOB.
Oh, it's a BYOB. BYOB. And BYOB's great. BYOB.
No, there's no drinking.
Well, I'll snick a pint in the roof of the bathroom or something.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a very well stocked bar.
Good whiskey.
Good everything. Good everything.
All right, that's good.
We'll make some moonshine. Do you got a prediction for the World Series before we sign off?
I'm gonna go Dodgers.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go. I'll go A's. Can those two teams meet up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll go Dodgers and A's, and then I'm gonna say Dodgers are gonna win. What about you?
Yeah, it's funny. Like we didn't. I don't even feel like we really talked about the postseason too much, but it's like we didn't really talk about the Red Sox. The Red Sox are the best team. I don't really have much faith in their pitching outside of a couple of guys.
David Price
is good, but I mean he can get blown up in the right game.
Isn't that a guy who's making like $40 million a year?
Yeah, he's making bank. Chris Sale, Rick Porcello, like those stuff. Like I really like Chris Sale, but there are other guys like they could get tagged. So like they are the best team. I don't think they're gonna do it. Honestly, Cleveland's a dark horse. They have the best pitching rotation. But they're gonna have to play. Who are they gonna? Oh, they're gonna have to play the Astros in the first round. I think that's what the matchup is. So that's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take the Astros out of the American League.
Shout out to Luke.
Yeah, shout out Luke, friend of the pod. And then National League, Cubs.
Okay.
Cubs. Yeah. So I'll say Astros over Cubs.
So I was way off with my picks, but it could happen.
Well, nothing's happened yet.
Yeah, I guess so. It's an unpredictable.
Bang on.
It's an unpredictable sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Everyone listening, I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. If you could do us a favor, go to our iTunes account, go to the comment section, and leave us a great comment or a bad one. I don't care. Just be honest with us. Also, go to all of our social media outlets. Like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate the support. Hi button has just started. We haven't even... Well, I guess we have begun, but we're not even close to what we want to accomplish. Hi button. Kev, thanks again.
Thank you.
I got nothing else to say. Good night, everybody. Or good morning, whenever you're listening.